So essential oils, many of you know who come to my live classes that I use essential oils in my classes all the time. I use them for diffusing. I use them for just offering a little bit of aromatherapy. I also use them for hands-on touch. But there's a couple things that I have been asked recently. Number one, how do you use your oils? You use a roller bottle. How do you make those? Where do you get those, etc.? The other thing is if I buy essential oils, what do I do with the little bit that's left over in them? So I want to give you guys a couple of tips here regarding that. Oil, as you know, like I use, for the most part, I use Young Living blends, but I use Plant Therapy is a brand you can get on Amazon. Plant Therapy and Eden's Garden for my single oils. So the oils that do not have a proprietary blend, so to speak. I use those for some of my roller bottles and stuff. So number one, this is a roller bottle that I use. You can get these in these giant packs. I will show you what that looks like. Giant packs, I mean like 24 or so for, I want to say it's like 12 bucks. They end up being probably anywhere between 50 cents and $1 a piece. So those are basically what I buy. I get those also on Amazon. And they come with everything that you need to make those. So including the tops, including the caps, including these handy dandy little tools to get the caps and tops off there. So you'll see that there's a little roller there and you'll use this little tool to lift that off. And then you can use your oils. So here's what I do is I use some different singles. Perhaps I will use frankincense. Perhaps I will use a citrus, but basically I'll put a couple drops of that inside these bottles. Anywhere from 10 or 15 drops actually is what I use for a recipe, so to speak. So if you're blending oils, maybe 5 drops of 3 different kinds or whatever, but a total of about 15 drops. And then you fill the rest of it with just some fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated coconut oil does not stain clothing. So if you end up doing a little bit of hands-on and somebody accidentally gets something on their sleeve, it's not a big deal. They can get that out right away. So that's how I make my roller bottles. Now, what do I do with my empties? This stuff is not cheap, you guys. So there's 2 things that you can do with it. Number one, Young Living makes these handy dandy little glide on things. I want to say this whole pack is about $10 or $15, probably less than 12 actually, now that I think about it, but there are 10 roller glide bottles and caps in here. So I have enough to put this little roller glide, excuse me, I have enough to put it on 10 different bottles. So my sacred frankincense, for instance, I will take that off. I will put a little bit of some fractionated coconut oil in there just to make it last longer. And then, oh, we don't want that one. We want the roller glide. And then put the little top on there. And so now this becomes a frankincense roller bottle and I'm not wasting any of that delicious oil. So there's option number 1 to do with your empties. Option number 2 to do with your empties is if you are an Epsom salt user, you can use Epsom salts in your bath, you can use them in foot baths, you can use them for cleaning all kinds of things. I get this big giant thing of Epsom salt from Walmart. This is 8 pounds for like $5. I'll get an airtight container. This is just a jar with a lid that is airtight. I'll fill it up about halfway. I've been working on this one for a little while, so you'll see what I do here, but I fill it up about halfway with the Epsom salts, and then I basically will take my oil bottles. I don't use the cap itself, but this little thing, again, I use my fingernails, but you can also use this little tool that you get. And literally just dump it upside down in the thing, push it in there, get them going a little bit in there. And then once you get like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them kind of pushed in there upside down, then you just kind of roll them and rock them around a little bit so that they get covered in all kinds of stuff. once you get them kind of to the bottom, then you'll have more room to stick more down in there. Once it gets to be where you can't really fit anymore, then you'll just start pulling those bottles and the tops out of them. The tops I throw away, the bottles I recycle in my recycle bin. And then that way you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. If you know someone who loves foot baths, this is a really nice little gift. Again, it's really inexpensive, but it's a really beautiful way to use some of those oils. And I think that's it. So if you have any questions or anything that you add, I don't know, what do you use your empties for? Maybe you have a better idea than that. Let me know. I'm really interested. Hope you're doing well. Bye.